Name confused. By Enchanted Nightingale. Chapter 45. Something about you. He kept an eye on Mark the whole time. He observed as they were let inside the house, the door opening on its own accord at the touch from the green-eyed man's hand. Entering the house was an experience for Sherlock. The house was old. The whole neighborhood had buildings that were 2 centuries old easily, but while renovated, this was an old place. The floorboards, the furniture, the expensive paintings, the silver pieces that decorated the surfaces. They passed by a room with only a fireplace and room to hang coats and umbrellas, a dining room big enough to hold 30 people seated, a study, a library, and 2 sitting rooms that his mother would have easily approved of before coming to a 3rd sitting room. This one was a tad more modern, with leather sofas and armchairs, a fireplace with the fire crackling, and a tea set for 2 waiting. There were bookcases all around and pictures scattered around. One had the green-eyed man, Mark, with the Queen in this very house. Interesting, muttered Sherlock. He turned around and saw his host sans the grocery bags and the jacket. "Can I take your coat?" Mark asked, extending his hand for it. Sherlock nodded and shrugged out of it, handing it over and taking a seat. "This tea was just bought." "So I noticed. Great luck, isn't it? Have a biscuit with it. They're fresh from this morning. Almond, I believe." "You had your phone on you. You could have texted your butler. I assume this building has one. 5 floors, most of them uninhabited because you are a bachelor. No way this house is taken care of by you." The green-eyed man smiled. "With my paycheck? A butler?" "Don't try to stroke my ego. It's obvious you're old money," Sherlock told him, sipping from the cup. "Expensive tastes in tea." "I can indulge," was the quick reply. "What did you do for the crown for Her Majesty to like you and for my brother to trust you to have his back?" Sherlock asked. "I killed a man," Mark offered. He had hung the coat and taken a seat across from Sherlock, looking rather somber about his admission. Sherlock cocked his head to the side. "I can believe that," he conceded, like he could believe that the man across from him was a war veteran and not a killer that took lives for the fun of it. No, this man needed cause, and even then would not take a life lightly. He could not be much older from Sherlock, certainly younger than Mycroft. While the UK had troops sent to the Middle East and Africa and with the NATO forces, nothing that could explain this nameless man. Sherlock knew that Britain did not have children soldiers, one thing even Mycroft and his black heart would not abide by. Yet the green-eyed man had all of the clues indicating a trained individual. "Why didn't I see the house before you mentioned there was a number 12? "Must have slipped your mind." The genius frowned again, recognizing that he was being taunted. He hated being taunted. The man was not making fun of him per se, but he knew exactly what Sherlock was talking about and keeping quiet about it, obviously amused by his confusion. There was something here, something simple yet remarkable, that was bound to answer all the questions Sherlock was accumulating as he spent time in the sitting room of number 12 Grimmauld Place. Who was this man that Mycroft chose as his assistant and bodyguard and cleanup man? In the pictures, there was no medal, no uniform to showcase exactly why this young man knew Her Majesty well enough for her to visit him here. There had been trophies and medals in the study they had passed by, but Sherlock knew that he would not get to snoop, not in this house and with Mark present. And he also knew that he would find it difficult to break in, or have one of his people break in. He would have to make do with scraps of information, too disjointed to make an accurate deduction. "You're enjoying this," Sherlock accused him. A tad, yes. Much better than that hide-and-go-seek game you and Mycroft are playing," Mark remarked. "What can you tell me about me?" Sherlock arched an eyebrow and sat comfortably. This china set had a crest with a wolf and stars, but the vase with the blue hibiscus near the entrance was entirely different and much, much older. The crests are distinguished, at least 3 centuries old. I'm thinking one title is barony and the other a lordship, which escapes me at the moment. You are a war veteran, don't deny the obvious. Which war, though? Or was it not a war fought outside this country? I never really made any sense of the terrorists a while back. The police and the government were tight-lipped about the whole thing. After a year of terror, everything stopped and they announced the terrorist cell was rooted out, the leader dead, and the accomplices in jail. I'm guessing that's when you met the Queen and how Mycroft learned about you. You are an orphan, probably raised by relatives. No parent would allow their child to be trained like you were, and the opulence makes me think you were not in the system." Sherlock stated, How am I doing so far? Spot on, the green-eyed man said. But this is only the surface. Yes, Mark replied, making Sherlock huff. I will find out, Mycroft's younger brother said. Oh, I don't doubt that at some point you will. I hate your attitude, but you like the puzzle I presented you with, the man countered. Sherlock stood. Thank you for the tea. I'll escort you out, Mark said, and that was the end of Sherlock's visit.